What's up, everyone? Welcome to the June 7th edition of DraftKings Tournament Plays presented by Prize Picks. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. And as a reminder, use the code Awesemo when you sign up and make a deposit at Prize Picks. You'll receive one free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. You'll also receive a 100% deposit bonus up to $100 on that first deposit. We have a 13-game MLB slate tonight, so basically twice as many games as we had last night, getting back to a normal size MLB slate. As usual, we're going to take a look at three of the top tournament stacks and three of the top tournament pitchers using the top stacks tool and the top pitchers tool on the Awesemo.com website. Starting with the top stacks, number three, the Detroit Tigers are taking on Jose Quintana. They are the worst offense in baseball. They have a 71 WRC plus so far this year, 106 ISO, absolutely awful offense. But Quintana is not a great pitcher either. 19.5% strikeout percentage, 4 xFIP so far this season. The Tigers are projected for 3% chance of being the top scoring stack, 4% projected ownership, but also an 11% chance of being the top value stack. So you do have a path to, even if they're not the top scoring stack, if they do well enough, you're going to be able to surround them with some very good pitching and hitting elsewhere in your lineup. Number two, the Milwaukee Brewers taking on Ranger Suarez. The Brewers are projected for 2% ownership with a 4% chance of being the top scoring stack and an 8% chance of being the top value stack. Milwaukee has also struggled offensively this year. They have a 92 WRC plus, 157 ISO is decent, middle of the pack in baseball this year. So there is some upside there. But Suarez has taken a step back this year after a very impressive 2021 season. He's only struck out 19.4% of hitters. He has a 4.19 xFIP and has allowed 1.13 home runs per 9 innings. And number one, the Los Angeles Dodgers taking on Michael Kopech and the Chicago White Sox. Kopech has been one of the top pitching prospects in baseball for a while. He has struck out 23.9% of hitters so far this year, but he does have an elevated 4.67 xFIP. He walks way too many guys, and he certainly can get himself in a lot of trouble in a hurry against this Dodgers team. They're only projected for about 4% ownership with a 7% chance of being the top scoring stack and a 3% chance of being the top value stack. The Dodgers have been one of the best offenses in baseball this year. They have a 120 WRC plus and a 179 ISO. Now, looking at the top three tournament pitchers, number three, Yu Darvish, $8,900 price tag, taking on the New York Mets, who have been the best offense in baseball with a 125 WRC plus so far this year. Certainly a very difficult matchup for Darvish in terms of the Mets being a very productive offense, but also only a 19.5% strikeout percentage for the Mets. On top of that, Darvish has only struck out 19.8% of hitters so far this year. Now, we do have a very long track record of Darvish being a very good strikeout pitcher, so it wouldn't be surprising if you do see those strikeout numbers come up going forward, but we are a couple of months into the season now, and you are still looking at a sub 20% strikeout percentage for Darvish. So there's a lot that could certainly go wrong here, but he's also projected for only 5% ownership with an 11% chance of being a top two pitcher. Number two, Alec Manoa, $10,000, taking on the Kansas City Royals. The Royals have been one of the weaker offenses in baseball this year. They have a 90 WRC plus, only a 19.9% strikeout percentage, but Manoa is a pretty good strikeout pitcher on his own. He has a 23% strikeout percentage and a 3.67 xFIP so far this year. Manoa is projected for 7% ownership with a 14% chance of being a top two pitcher. And number one, Kyle Wright taking on the Oakland Athletics. Wright is $10,100. Oakland has been awful offensively this year with an 84 WRC plus and a 22.9% strikeout percentage on their active roster. Wright is one of the best strikeout pitchers on the slate. He struck out 27.5% of hitters with a 3.31 xFIP so far this year, projected for about 18% ownership with about a 17% chance of being a top two pitcher. So to recap, the top three tournament stacks: number three, the Detroit Tigers; number two, the Milwaukee Brewers; and number one, the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the top three tournament pitchers: number three, Yu Darvish; number two, Alec Manoa; and number one, Kyle Wright.